Hello everyone, welcome to No More Creative Tutorials. Today we have a new motion graphics tutorial in our series and I will show you how to create a 3D multi-layer pie chart for business infographics in Adobe After Effects without using any third-party plugins. So create your composition and let's get started. So after create your composition, I have here some assets prepared already here in my comp. So I have these text layers here, and I have this plus, roller, and circle illustrator file, and some After Effects text. Here the numbers, and here I have a line and these parts called background and a dots and another dot signal here. These elements we're going to need in this tutorial. We can actually create them here in Adobe After Effects, and I'm going to leave these files for you in the description. So let's start animating. So first we're going to solo these to focus here in these rollers. So hit S to reveal scale, and I'll like here the X and Y, and let's zero out these and create a keyframe, and at 1 second we're going to make these 100 on the Y and 10 pixels on the X, and 3 or 4 frames at the same keyframes, and at 2 seconds we're going to make the X 100. And let's ease this F9 and maybe give it a nice interpolation here, something like this. And let's preview this so we can see. So basically we're going to have something like this, and for now we're going to start animating the circle. So as these hits right here, we want the circle to start animating. So on circle we're going to add radial wipe effect, and then we're going to animate the transition completion here. So when it is in this keyframe, we want this to be 100, and then few frames when this is almost complete here, we're going to put this to 0, and basically we want this to start from 180. So we have it just like this. So hit U to reveal these keyframes. Easy, and give it a nice ease in here. So let's preview this. Okay, so we're going to basically get something like this. Look pretty cool. And then we're going to animate the plus. So as it gets there, so let's trim this here, and on plus we're going to do the same thing. So we want it to start animating. Hit S for scaling, plus here. Hit S to reveal scale, and from 0 to 100 after 10 frames. Just hold Control and Shift to move 10 frames, and going to hit R for rotation, and we're going to rotate it minus 90 degrees. So easy 2, and give it a nice ease in here. And let's preview this again. Maybe we want this to actually go like this. Okay, something like this, look pretty cool. And now we have this set up here. And the second thing we want to is these text layers to start. So we want it to animate as well. So let's add a new null object. Let's call this animation and hit P for position. And we're going to animate this from maybe from here to right there. Okay, so we're going to link these to this null object. So we have it like this. Maybe this is too far actually, so just there. And we're going to actually map this so it appear not right away. So we're going to add shape layer and on here, so it start revealing from this part. And so on this layer, we're going to add a shape map effect, and I'm going to choose our shape layer, and let's turn off visibility on this one. And we're going to do some adjustment here to this null object to adjust the animation of text to look nice. And then we are going to copy the shape matte and paste it on the second text here. So we're going to get something like this. And now we're going to, of course, easy ease these, give it a nice interpolation here. And now we're going to add a secondary animation for this text layer. So hit B to view position and add a keyframe there. And then we're going to add another one here. So we have this animation like this, and we're going to adjust here keyframes until we get a nice animation. Okay, look pretty cool. And so now we're going to animate this 100% here, and I already covered this in a previous tutorial. I will leave the link on the description. I have it here, paste here. So I'm just going to activate this expression as it is going to animate these for me. So the previous tutorial is explaining what this is doing. So now we're going to move to a next step. So here we have completed this roller here, and so now we are going to animate here these text layers here, these numbers. So basically we're going to, let's focus here in the first number. And so up in here, this text, and then animate, and then let's add opacity here and zero out this opacity. And on range selector, we're going to add a keyframe here on start from 0 to 100. So maybe just few frames. And then we're going to copy this animator and paste it here in the rest. So Control V to paste them there. So we're going to have something like this, basically. So and now we're going to stagger these keyframes and then hit U, and let's select all these keyframes here. And we're going to use Rift here to stagger these keyframes. So make sure you are on frames and select keyframes here. Let's select the select keyframes and stagger it for 4 frames, and then stagger it there, and then hit this button, and it's going to stagger it for us. So let's preview this and see how it looks like. Okay, so now we have these set up. So we are going to start creating the pie chart. So select all these, And here we're going to create a new solid, and let's call these desk, make comp size, and hit OK. And then we're going to add a circle effect. Let's make this layer 3D and give our radius something around 150 and hit R for rotation. And on the X rotation, going to rotate that minus 80 and hit T for opacity here. And on here we have opacity, so I'm going to put that around maybe 30 there. And so we're going to move this right here. Okay, so maybe we can make it a little bit bigger actually, so maybe just right there. And we're going to add radial wipe effects. And so we're going to do the same thing here. Animate this transition completion. So when this complete animation, we want that to start. So right there, create keyframe here. So we want that from 100. So 20 frames and make that 0. So going to have something like this, but we want that to start from here. So minus 180. So let's preview and see this. And as you see, it looks very cool. So we're going to ease these keyframes, F9, and let's give it a nice ease in here and preview again. So maybe it's a little bit fast, so maybe give it a little bit more time. And then on this layer, hit P to reveal position. And when the animation just complete, we want this to animate. So create keyframe on position and then few frames. And we're going to move it maybe toward the camera a little bit. Something like this. Let's rename this to disk 01 and then Control D to duplicate it and reveal P for position. And just right here, we want this to be right there. Okay, and let's ease these keyframes. And so let's add some nice ease in there. Let's preview this. Okay, so we're going to get something like that. And what we're going to do is going back here to this first frame, this first keyframe here, and we're going to parent the second one to this layer holding Shift, and then we're going to hold Control and D to duplicate it, and hold Alt, and then parent it to the previous duplicate, which is disk 02, and we're going to get something like this. So now we're going to keep duplicating, holding Alt and then pick with this to or parent it to the previous duplicate. So it's going to take place all the duplicates. So hold Alt. So we're going to have something like this. Let's preview again this. So as you see, this look pretty cool. So we're going to add some details to these pie chart to make it more interesting. So we're going to look at these elements here, and we're going to make them actually 3D. And let's add a text here because we're going to need it. So let's put here students, make it smaller. and position it right here, and also make it 3D so we have everything here set up. And so what we're going to do is start animating these elements. So first we're going to start with this dot, and we're going to link it to disk 1, and we want actually start animating when these pie charts start animate this way. So let's trim first this layer and hit S for scale, and we're going to scale from 0 to 100 after 20 frames. 100. And we want this line and layer to be animated as well. So we're going to hold Alt left bracket to trim the layer. And we're going to create a mask on this layer, and then we're going to create this mask for the path. And then we're going to create a stroke effect on it. And let's give the brush size 4 pixels, and we're going to animate start from 0 to 100, and we're going to change the pen style to reveal original image. So we're going to have something like this, and hit U, and we're going to reverse these keyframes. And actually, so it is going to be at 0 here. Reversing these. So it start like that. And we're going to add a secondary, like a dot, going on these lines. So we're going to duplicate this stroke, Control D, and then hold Alt and click on stopwatch over the end here. So it's going to reveal this for us, and we're going to take the big whip and then take the start of the second stroke here, +1. So basically we're going to get something like that, and we're going to put that on original image, and that we're going to put it just like 2, maybe 3. So we're going to have something like this. And now we want this dot to be looping the whole comp. So we're going to add another expression to the second stroke, so it start looping. On start here, we're going to click on stopwatch to add the expression, and we're going to add, going to property and loop out duration here, loop out duration, and we're going to give it maybe 1.5 seconds. So it start looping that. So maybe here we need to make adjustment to this mask, as it need to start maybe from here. So let's preview and see how this looks like. And as you see, it looks pretty cool, unless that we need to easy ease these keyframes here, F9 to easy ease them, so we can get a nice ease in. And so now we're going to actually start the next animation. So here we have these background, we want it to be animated. So when these wanted to start from here, going to trim it here, and animate the position of this. So we want it to start from this side, and then after 20 frames, we want it to get right here. Let's easy is this, F9, and let's preview this. Okay, so it looked pretty cool, and so we're going to add here a shape layer, so it's going to reveal these parts. Let's rename this mask and just put it on here, and we're going to make alpha inverse. So we're going to have something like this, and then we want this to be animated, this dot. Where is it? This one. So right there, going to trim it, and S for scaling, and going to scale that from 0 to 100. So maybe just 10 frames this time, and F9 to easy ease them. Maybe this is a little bit faster. I'm just going to do some adjustment to this animation. Okay, and so we're going to do the same thing here for the text. We are going to reveal it as well. So here we're going to create this shape layer. And so we want it to be revealed just here. And let's move this on top here. And we're going to hit B for position on this text. And let's trim it as well. And add a keyframe, and we want text to start animating from this side to right here. And then we're going to track matte this. So alpha inverted, or basically just alpha. And so we have these. Let's preview this. And now we're going to parent these elements so they are more looking good, and so when we duplicate them, we don't have any problem. So here we have this line. It's going to be parent to these dots, and we have here this one is going to be for the background, and here we have this background is going to be parented to the dot. And first, what we need to do, actually, we need to easy ease all these keyframes here and give them the same interpolation. Let's give them a nice interpolation here. And so what else we need to parent? These two, we're going to parent them to this background. And this mask is going to be parent to the line here. Okay, so let's preview this again. So maybe it's a little bit faster, so we can make it a little bit slower here. So hope you get the idea, and now we can just duplicate these elements, but first we need to fix these masks, make them 3D as well. And so we just need to fix them here a little bit, so when we duplicate them we don't have any problem. So And now we can duplicate this Control D. Let's move it right here. And this one, we're going to make it to Disk 2, and we're going to move it to Disk 2 here. Maybe this one. I want it to start from there. So let's preview and see how this looks like. Okay, so you get the idea. So we're going to keep duplicating here things and stagger them a little bit. So move them in time a little bit, and then that's the idea here. Duplicate here, and let's change these to 3 and select these. So this was the tutorial of today. Hope it was very useful for you guys, and if you have any question, just comment and I will do my best to be responsive. And stay tuned for more tutorials coming soon, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.